Hey, what's up, guys? Going to give you a review of the ZED Audio RA. I've had it installed in my vehicle now for a little while, so I pretty much know what I like about it and what I don't like. I'm going to review with you my sub-bass system on my car, because the RA is a subsonic synthesizer. So I'm using a ZED Audio 13W6, which I love. I have 600 watts going to it, an excellent sub, awesome detail and output. I had a Crescendo 3KWP and an SSA XCon 15, and had about 2,000 watts going at 15. Got, like I said, 600 going to this 13W6. It's awesome, love it. The amp I'm using is a ZED Audio XD601. It's mounted underneath my driver's seat. It's kind of hard to see here, so I'll have to post a picture so you guys just can see it. That's what I have. And then, as far as the head unit, nothing special. It is a Kenwood XDC or KDC X994. Works good. I like it. Nothing crazy. And I have the ZED Audio RA mounted in this little compartment here underneath the AC and heater controls. The RA is backlit with blue lights, but the what do you want to call it? The low pass master 45 Hz shift 2 Hz threshold and volume control are screen printed on the RA faceplate. They are not backlit at nighttime, so unless you know which knob's what, they can be, it won't be able to adjust that easily without turning on the light. As far as setting up the RA, I set my head unit to the max volume that I listen to it at, which is 28 out of 34. And then I turned the volume control to max on the RA, and then I adjusted my input gain on the XD601 accordingly. What I don't like about this RA is that not all the potentiometers here I can adjust with my fingers, which is makes things definitely difficult. It has nothing to do with where I have it mounted or how I have it mounted. What it appears to be the issue to me is that the potentiometers are not centered in the faceplate, so they are rubbing on the faceplate, which is why I can't adjust them by hand. So I use a pair of pliers, which makes adjusting while driving very difficult, and I wouldn't recommend it at all. So I have things set to what sounds good to me, and then I pretty much don't really touch anything. There are a couple knobs I can adjust, and thankfully the volume control I can adjust with my fingers and not a pair of pliers, which is awesome. So that's good. The low pass is a low pass filter. It ranges from 45 Hz to 230 Hz. I have mine set at 230 Hz because I use the low pass filter on the head unit. The master control is we don't want to say like volume, because it affects the level of the subsonic synthesizer. And the subsonic synthesizer is broken down into a couple different parts, but they are centered at 45 Hz and 32 Hz. And the more adjustment you make at either of those two frequencies, the more it's going to affect the threshold. There's 2 pages written in the manual about the threshold. So instead of me trying to explain it, just read the manual. But basically how I set it is I turn my volume control to the level that I normally listen to it at, and then I adjust the threshold control until the compressor light, it's a small LED light, lights up. And once that is lit, then that's where I have that set at. Then the volume control, obviously, if I want to reduce the volume of the bass, that's what I use for that. So I like the RA, other than the fact that I cannot adjust all the knobs by my fingers. I have to use a pair of pliers. That was definitely a factory defect that I would have thought that ZED Audio would have reviewed or looked at their product before it shipped, and if they just would have turned these knobs, they would have seen that you aren't able to do it with your fingers, so that would have been known. I wouldn't think you would use a ZRA in an SQ setup because it changes the input signal, and but if you want to add more bass to your music, this is definitely a great way to do it. It's small, it can be hidden pretty easy, and so far, other than the pontometers not being adjustable by hand, I haven't had any issues with it. That's it.